Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, I am Ahmed Mumtaz Mustasan, your teacher for CSC 141 Introduction to Computer Programming. We start the next lecture with the thanks to Dr. Sadaf Tanveer, Assistant Professor, for providing me the slide material and some lecture material. Dear students, you remember that we talked about operators. We talked about different categories of operators: assignment operators, arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, and I explained quite a few and promised you to explain all these operators as and when required. Today I have decided to discuss the most important concept in programming, which is called if construct. In the if construct, we are required to use these relational operators and these logical operators. So let's have a very quick review of these operators. So first of all, relational operators: less than, when we have to compare two values together, whether A is equal to B, less than B, greater than B, less than equal to B, greater than equal to B, or not equal to B. Also remember that two equality operators, two equal sign operators, when they are used in pair, they depicts or they defined equal operator or the equality operator. And when we use this equal operator sign with sign of exclamation, then it is called not equal. And when we use this equal operator single, then it is considered as assignment operator. So let us take a quick review of this example where I have initialized I is equal to 1. Then we have used clear screen function. This clear screen function is a built-in function of C language that facilitates you to clear the output window. Whatever garbage or whatever output already available on the output window, you can clean it and you can have a fresh output window where you can place the result of your current program. So it's a very useful built-in function available. We'll talk about it more functions when we will be discussing the functions. So next two statements are printf statements. We have already discussed printf statements along with its arguments, along with format specifier, escape sequence, and the data elements which are required to be printed onto the console. So quickly, is I less than 0, %d \n double quotes end, comma I equals 0. How can we interpret this sequence, this list? First of all, is I less than 0 is a string that will be printed as it is on the console. %d is a format specifier that indicates that any integer data is to be printed here, and that integer data should be the first one in the list after this first argument. \n, this \n is an escape sequence that represents new line. Okay, so the first argument is I equals 0. I equals 0 is an equality operator that tests whether I is equal to 0. Now there can be two answers, yes or no. In case we say I equal to 0, if it is true, the answer will be yes. And how do we represent yes? Yes is represented by non-zero value, so the output will be equal to 1. But if it is false, then the output should be equal to 0. Since we have initialized I is equal to 1, therefore I equals 0 is true or false? It is false. Therefore you can see the system will print is I less than 0 question mark. The answer is 0, means it is false. The same question is repeated, but this time we have put a check I equal 1. Since we have initialized the initial value of I equal to 1, therefore I is yes equal to 1. The answer is true. True is non-zero, which is equal to 1. Therefore the answer will be equal to 1. The purpose here is just to show you that you can test two values, or you can test any value with any corresponding value that you can provide as an R value. But the R value and L value, we use it with a assignment operator. When we use it as an equality operator, then we are comparing the two values. And whenever we compare the two values, the answer is either 1 means true, 0 means false. तो आपका जवाब होगा 1 या 0 means true or false. Okay. So in the last example we have tested the value of I with equality operator. Now we will test the same thing, but this time we will test it with an less than inequality operator. So I is less than 0. Rest is the same. We have initialized the initial value of I equal to 1. So is I is less than 0? Answer is no. Answer is false. It's not true because I is equal to 1. So the output should be equal to false. और false की output क्या होती है? 0. That's why in the first line output is I less than 0? Answer is 0. Means कि I जो है वो 0 से less नहीं है. Why? Because we have initialized the value of I equal to 1. Next line is I greater than 0? Is I greater than 0? Yes, because we have initialized I is equal to 1. Therefore answer is true. And if the answer is true, then it will give you the output non-zero, which is equal to 1. So is I greater than 0 is equal to 1. So we have used both equality operators, equal equality operator and the less than and greater than operators. Precedence of these operators. If I would like to use arithmetic operators along with these relational operators, suppose in the upper example I said answer percentage d backslash n comma 2 plus 1 less than 4. What is 2 plus 1 less than 4? क्या कहते हैं इसे? Yes, it is called expression. It is an expression. 2 plus 1 is less than 4. This expression is going to be evaluated. Why it is going to be evaluated? Because we are using an relational operator. We are using a relational operator. Okay, so 2 plus 1 is less than 4. What is the precedence? If we compare the precedence of arithmetic operator versus relational operator, then the arithmetic operators have the higher precedence. तो इसका क्या मतलब हुआ कि 2 plus 1 will be evaluated first. 2 plus 1, answer is 3. Is 3 less than 4? Yes, 3 is less than 4. Therefore the answer, the output should be equal to 1. Next, 1 is less than 2 plus 4. Now which part will be evaluated first? The part that contains arithmetic operator, which is plus, means 2 plus 4 will be evaluated first. 2 plus 4, the answer is 6. So it will be 1 less than 6? Yes, 1 is less than 6. Therefore the answer is equal to 1. So what we have learned? Up to now we have seen that we can use equality operators. दो वैल्यूज को कंपेयर करने के लिए हम इक्वल का साइन यूज कर सकते हैं. We can use greater than operator, we can use less than operator. Then in this particular example, not only we have used the relational operator, but we have combined it with the arithmetic operator, and we have seen that the arithmetic operator has the higher precedence, therefore 2 plus 1 will be evaluated first, then it will be compared with 4. Similarly, 2 plus 4 that contains an arithmetic operator will be evaluated first, then it will be compared with 1. Okay, आगे चलें. Decision construct. ये relational operators हमने define किए हैं because I want to use it in the decision construct. Anywhere in the life or any time you encountered a situation where you are required to take the decision. For example, when you get up from your bed, so you just check the time and see what is the time. If you are getting late from your class, you have to take the decision. You take the decision, okay, I'm going to skip the lunch. So you decide, you encounter a situation where you are required to take the decision. Similarly, if you are going from one city to another city, then you see that, okay, if the motorway is closed, what alternate you have? Then you might require to take the Grand Trunk Road, GT Road. So if one way is closed, then you would like to go through the other way out. Okay. Similarly, in programming, you compare and you encountered a situation, test a situation and take the decision accordingly. For that purpose, we have got a very, very powerful feature available in the programming language, which is called if construct. This if construct has got multiple combinations, variety of combinations. So we will discuss all these one by one, step by step. Gradually we'll keep on exploring the advanced features of the if constructs. So हम start करते. Suppose we have defined a character ch 4. Remember, there are 5 data types. कौन से? Integer, double, float, character, void. Basic ये 5 ही हैं. देन हमने देखा था कुछ मॉडिफायर्स पढ़े थे जिसमें हमने लॉन्ग को पढ़ा था और उसके बाद साइंड, अनसाइंड, बट बेसिक डेटा टाइप्स जो हैं वो हैं 5. सो कैरेक्टर ch, क्लियर स्क्रीन. ch इज इक्वल टू गेट चे. गेट ch, वैसे गेट चे भी एक फंक्शन होता है. जब हम सारे फंक्शंस पढ़ेंगे तो मैं आपको गेट ch और गेट चे दोनों का डिफरेंस बताऊंगा. Today we say ch is equal to get ch. ये एक built-in function है. Get ch is a built-in function available in C and C++ that helps you reading a character from the keyboard. Whatever character you press on the keyboard, you can read it out with the help of this get ch function. Get ch function जो है उस character को read करता है और return back करता है. जब उस करेक्टर को रिटर्न करता है तो यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू स्टोर दैट करेक्टर इन ए करेक्टर डेटा टाइप. दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव डिफाइंड ch एज ए करेक्टर. सो व्हाटएवर करेक्टर यू विल प्रेस, इट विल बी सेव्ड इन ch. नेक्स्ट, अब ये इफ स्टेटमेंट है. यू हैव गॉट इफ, देन यू हैव गॉट पैरेंथेसिस. हियर यू हैव अ टेस्ट स्टेटमेंट वेयर यू से इफ ch equal y. Whenever we compare a single character, you remember, मैंने आपसे कहा था we use single quote. तो यहाँ पर y को compare कर रहे हैं with the contents in ch. जो भी आपने कीबोर्ड से character को प्रेस किया था उसको ch में मौजूद है. And now you are comparing that character with y. And if it is equal to y, if this condition is true, then and only then the next statement, the statement which is the body of the if statement, जिस तरह for loop की body होती है ना, इसी तरह if statement की भी body है. Since the body contains only one statement, so we are not required to enclose it into the braces or enclose it into the curly brackets. तो यहाँ पर printf you typed y, or if you don't type y, अगर आप कुछ और y की जगह प्रेस करते हैं, then it will not execute. Next, get ch is once again is a dummy statement that is just to keep the output window there as if it is waiting for some input. As long as you press any character on the keyboard, and since you are not doing with that particular character, the character will be read by the getChe and your program is terminated. So you can see the output of this particular program. If you type Y, so it will write you typed Y. Okay, shabash. Next, let's take a practice exercise. I am posing a question. By purchasing certain items, a store offers a discount of 10% if the quantity purchased is more than 1000. अगर आप कोई भी आइटम 1000 से ज़्यादा परचेज करेंगे, क्वांटिटी नॉट द प्राइस, अगर कोई भी क्वांटिटी किसी भी आइटम को 1000 से ज़्यादा परचेज करेंगे, तो स्टोर विल ऑफर यू 10% डिस्काउंट ऑफ द होल प्रोडक्ट और होल quantity that you have bought. So we are required to write a program that input the quantity and price per item through the keyboard and calculate the amount to be charged from the customers. Okay, हम type करेंगे. Suppose 1200. The price of per item is 10 rupees. So we need to find out कि इसको discount देना है या नहीं देना. अगर देना है, then how much discount is offered and how much price should be charged. First of all, I'd like to discuss the flow chart depicting this particular situation. You start a program. By default, the discount is 0%. Remember, you are required to input two quantities. Two items. One is quantity, second is the rate. So quantity comma rate. Then you put a decision box. This is basically if construct here, that check if quantity is greater than 1000. If yes, it will go to the right side where the discount is 10. Otherwise, no, then the discount remains the same, means the discount remains 0. From both sides you will come back to the next statement, and here you compute the total quantity multiplied by the rate minus discount. अब discount कैसे calculate कर रहे हैं? Quantity multiplied by the rate multiplied by discount over 100. This is percentage discount. In case you have followed the path from the left side, that the quantity is less than 1000, then the discount is 0. When you multiply anything with 0, it's 0, so you subtract a 0 from the rate, means no discount. But if you are coming from the right side, then the discount is equal to 10. So you subtract this quantity multiplied by rate multiplied by 10 divided by 100. So whatever the rate is, it is providing us a discount of 10% that is subtracted from the price of the items, number of items we have procured. We print the result and stop. So let's write a program for that. Calculation of the payment to be charged from the customers. So we defined some initial variables, quantity, discount. By default, I said the discount should be equal to 0. Float, rate and total. Why I've used rate and total as float? Because we can expect that the price of the item could be in real, might contain a decimal point. So if a unit price contains some decimal point, so then your total should, or total may contain a decimal point. So therefore we have defined the two variables, rate and total, in float. Then printf, enter quantity and rate. This is just a message that will be printed on the output window to caution you, to inform you that the system is waiting for the input. Now you will use the next statement, which is called scanf. Scanf किस पे use करते हैं? To read the data from the keyboard. और आपको मैंने बताया था कि when you are required to input two quantities and the scanf is required to read the two or more than one quantities, how can we separate the multiple quantities? Do you remember that? Yes, it should either be comma or a space or a tab or a new line. You can use enter character also. Okay, so the system will read the quantity and the rate. Then you can put a check. If quantity greater than 1000, then the discount is equal to 10. Okay, अब आप देखें कि body of the if construct just contains one single statement, therefore we have not used any curly bracket. Then we compute total is equal to quantity multiplied by the rate minus quantity multiplied by the rate multiplied by discount divided by 100. So here you can give a 10% discount, and then you can print out the result. Okay, so suppose enter quantity and rate. Suppose you have entered 1200, 1200 item purchase kiye hain customer ne, and the price is 10 rupees per item. So 1200 and 10.0. The price you can simply calculate very quickly, should be 12,000 rupees. लेकिन हमने price charge की है 10,800 rupees. Why? Because the quantity is greater than 1000. Therefore, there is a discount of 10%. So we have computed a discount from 12,000 rupees. The 10% of 12,000 is how much? 1,200 rupees. So we have given a discount of 1,200 rupees, and this is computed by our program. In the next example, we repeated the same program again. This time the quantity is 200, the rate is 15 rupees. So we have simply multiplied it 15 with 200. The answer is 3,000, no discount. You might have noticed an odd thing in this program, which is there are 4 zeros after decimal place. Okay, that's the point where you can use a format specifier with decimal point. Okay, we can use 0.2f, then it will only print 2 digits after the decimal. Okay, but if you don't use this, then by default it will print 4 or maybe 6 digits after decimal places. Okay, so it's up to you. Since the price should not have more than 2 digits, so it doesn't look nice, so you should use the format specifier accordingly. This is just to show you that if your if construct contains more than 2 statements in its body, यानी कि if की जो body है, if it contains more than 2 statements, then like for loop, body of the for loop, we are required to enclose it in the curly bracket, जिनको हम braces भी कहते हैं. So just to give you some example, I have used directory as statement. If year of service is greater than 3, okay, bonus is equal to 2,500, and we print f bonus is equal to rupees %d bonus. Please remember, there is no semicolon here, no semicolon here. It is not there. Okay, so I'll give you the details that what will happen if you by mistake put a semicolon over there. Next, if else statement. This is another flavor of if construct. We can combine if with else statement. When if condition evaluates to be true, the group of statements under if are executed. यानी कि जब आपने एक टेस्ट किया और अगर वो टेस्ट ट्रू हो गया, तो whatever block you have placed just after the if test, okay, that block of statement will be executed. Next, it does nothing when the expression evaluates to false. अगर वो true नहीं होगा तो statement execute नहीं होगी. But if we want to let the system do something, if the one construct is true, then it will execute the upper body. If it is not false, then it should use another block of the body. If you want to do that, then you can combine if with else. We can do something when the if condition evaluates to false using the else statement. कैसे? Let us see an example. Once again, I'll pose a question. In a company, an employee pay is computed as follows: that if the basic salary of the employee is less than 1500, then human resource allowance is equal to 10% of the basic salary, and daily allowance is equal to 90% of the basic salary. But if the salary is greater than 1500, then human resource allowance is equal to 500 rupees, it's a fixed, and the daily allowance is 98% of the basic salary. Okay? If the employee's salary is input through the keyboard, write a program to find his gross salary. अब आपने क्या करना है? एक प्रोग्राम लिखना है. That program should read the salary of an employee and compute its gross salary. How can we do that? Once again, let's see this flow chart. We start, we take the input. Input क्या है? Basic salary, BS. BS stands for basic salary. We read the basic salary, and if we say his basic salary is less than 1500, then it's other way around. I'm sorry, it should be what is the question? Let us see. Read the question again. The question says that if the salary is less than 1500, then HR allowance is 10%. So here we are computing. So if the salary is less than 1500, so we can say yes, it should be like this, and if we say no, then it should use this path. Okay, so there was a mistake in the slide. So is basic salary is less than 1500, then HRA is equal to basic salary multiplied by 10%, and daily allowance is basic salary multiplied by 90%. But if the basic salary is not less than 1500, it is equal to or greater than 1500, then it will come from the other side. Now, in the previous example, when this if construct was true, it executed the set of statement. If it was false, it was doing nothing. Kaise? I will just take you back. Yeah. If the if construct was true, it does something here, but if the if construct was false, it did nothing. यहाँ पर इसने कुछ नहीं किया. But here we want that the if it is true, then it should do something, and if it is false, yet it should do something. अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन है जहाँ पे ट्रू की सूरत में हम एक काम करवाना चाहते हैं, फॉल्स की सूरत में हम दूसरा काम करवाना चाहते हैं. For example, if you are going through the motorway, if the motorway is available, then you should fill up your tank with petrol. Suppose the CNG gas is not available on the motorway, so you will fill up your tank of your vehicle. आपकी कार का जो tank है उसको आप पेट्रोल डलवाएंगे. If the motorway is closed, is not available for some reasons, you are going through GT road, Grand Trunk Road, and we assume that on the Grand Trunk Road the CNG is available. So you will fill out the CNG in your car. So depending upon the situation, you do either one types of activity or the other type of activity, and that is depicted here. So जो एम्प्लॉइज जिनकी सैलरी लेस देन 1500 है उनका HR जो है is computed here and daily allowance is computed here. And employees who have the salary greater than equal to 500, their HR and their daily allowance is here. And both cases, then you combine the basic salary plus HR plus daily allowance and you get the gross salary and print the gross salary and stop. So let us write a program for that. We initialize float, basic, gross salary, daily allowance, human resource allowance, HRA. Please enter basic salary because that was the only input that we were supposed to read from the keyboard. We read it with the scanf. Remember, scanf के साथ the variable here does not contain ampersand sign. तो ये ampersand sign कहाँ से आया? Do you remember that? Yes, it is the address operator. It is the requirement of this scanf function that we use address operator with each variable for which we are required to read the data from the keyboard. Okay, after reading this, now here there is no ampersand sign. ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ हमें रीड टाइम के ऊपर उसके एड्रेस ऑपरेटर वेरिएबल से प्रोसीड करता है. ठीक है, स्टार्ट होता है वेरिएबल विद एम्परसेंड साइन. Okay, but whenever you use the variable, we don't use this ampersand sign here. So here we just put a test. If basic salary is less than 1500, then we compute human resource allowance 10% of the basic salary. Then we compute daily allowance, which is 90%. If it is true, basic salary is less than this one, then this part of this body of if construct will be executed. Else, if it is not true, means that salary is equal to or greater than 1500, that is else. Here, once again, there are two statements, so we need to put two curly brackets here. So we say the human resource allowance is equal to 500 and we compute, this is fixed, remember, अगर less than 1500 हो तो 10% और अगर greater than हो or greater than equal to 1500 हो तो fixed amount of 500 rupees and then you compute 98% as a daily allowance. So HR or DA will be computed both here. If it is true, if it is false, then yet both will be computed here. The formula above is different. यहाँ पे 10% है, यहाँ पे 500 है, यहाँ पे 90% है, यहाँ पे 98% है. So the formula is different, but yet we compute HR and DA in both the cases. यहाँ पे पेट्रोल देगी और यहाँ पर CNG देगी. When we come out, we say what do we have? We have a basic salary plus HRA plus DA. Human resource allowance basic salary में ऐड हो रहा है, DA basic salary में ऐड हो रहा है, और it is being done on both the cases. Then you can print the gross salary. Okay, so you have learned another flavor of if construct. I give you exercise, you do it by yourself. I'll give you the solution in the next lecture or maybe after a couple of lectures, and the solution will also be available on your web portal. An integer is input through a keyboard, कोई भी integer keyboard से read करें, and write a program to determine if the number is even or odd. This is your practice exercise, class practice exercise. You have to do it. Next, nested if else. Do you remember we discussed nested for loop? For loop के अंदर हमने for loop के इस्तेमाल को कहा था nested for loop. Now we say that if के अंदर if statement को use कर रहे हैं, we call it as a nested if statement. It is perfectly alright if we write an entire if else construct within either the body of the if statement or the body of an else statement. अभी क्या है, अभी हमने डिस्कस किया कि if has got first of all a test. If it is true, then you have a body of if statement. If it is false, then the body of else statement. पहले ऊपर वाली body if की, उसके बाद body else की. So either it will execute the body of if or it will execute the body of else. तो हम if की body के अंदर if use कर सकते हैं दोबारा, और else की body के अंदर फिर if use कर सकते हैं दोबारा. So if we use if statement within the body of if statement or within the body of else statement, then we call it as nested if. बिल्कुल ऐसे ही जैसे for की body के अंदर हम for loop को हमने दोबारा यूज किया था और हमने उसको nested for loop कहा था. Second, there is no limit on how deeply the ifs and elses can be nested. अब बॉडी के अंदर आपने if की बॉडी में if यूज किया, उसके अंदर फिर if और else आ गए, उसके अंदर फिर आप if यूज करवें, उसके अंदर फिर आप if यूज करवें. So there is no restriction, कोई theoretical restrictions नहीं है, पर थोड़ा clumsy हो जाएगा. बहुत ज़्यादा nesting करने से there will be few problems that I will discuss in few minutes, but theoretically there is no restriction. So if में if को यूज करने को हम कहते हैं nested if. आप उसको if की बॉडी में यूज करें या else की बॉडी में यूज करें. Let us take few examples for that. This is just a demo. You are required to input a number 1 or 2. आपसे कहा जा रहा है कि आप एंटर करें, कीबोर्ड से 1 एंटर करें या 2 एंटर करें. Okay, so we have initialized a variable integer int I, and we say that printf, please enter a number 1 or 2. Just choice है आपके पास, 1 enter करें या 2 enter करें. You read it out with the help of scanf function. Then we test. If I equal 1, you have entered 1. अब देखिए ये true होगा तो सिर्फ ये if वाला पार्ट एग्जीक्यूट होगा, else वाला पार्ट पे कंट्रोल आएगा ही नहीं, और यहां से कंट्रोल सीधा if कंस्ट्रक्ट से बाहर आ जाएगा. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सिमिलरली अगर ये false होगा, then it will go to the else part and it will execute whatever is written in the else part. Suppose I is not equal to 1, then it will go to the else part. Here you will check if I is equal to 2. If yes, it will print you have entered 2. But suppose you have neither entered 1 nor you have entered 2. So what will happen? It will not go here. It will not execute this statement, and hence it will not print you have entered 1. Similarly, if you have not entered 2, it will not go here, because this test, if it is true, then this body will be executed. If this test is true, then this body will be executed. Okay, so suppose you have entered 5, so it will not go here. Compare it with 2, it's not go here, so you say else, you will print you have entered neither 1 nor 2. तो आप देखें कि हमने if के अंदर, if की बॉडी के अंदर नहीं बल्कि else की बॉडी के अंदर हमने एक और if statement यूज की है. This if else construct we have used within the body of else statement. Okay, there are number of forms of if statements. Before I go to some more examples, let's इसको हम फाइनल करें और देखते हैं कि हमने अब तक क्या पढ़ा. सबसे पहले हमने पढ़ा if condition, then do this, first format of the if statement. Second हमने पढ़ा if condition, then do this. A and B are same. What's the difference? In A there was only one single statement and we are not required to put these two curly brackets. In B, just like A, but the difference is that here we have got two statements. When we have got two statements in the body of the if or else, we are required to put the curly brackets there. Third combination, if this condition is true, do this, else do this. दोनों में आपके पास एक एक स्टेटमेंट है. If the condition is true, it will execute this. If the condition is false, it will execute this. So it will execute either this or this, not both, because we have got either the if is true, if it is not true then means false, then it will execute do this, but if it is true then it will do this. The same thing in D, if condition is true, you have got two statements, do this and this. Since there are two statements, so you are required to put two curly brackets here. In the else case, there are still two statements, so you are required to put a curly brackets here also. Next, here we'll be doing some nesting. Nested if. If condition is true, do this, else. We used again if statement. If condition is true, do this, else do that. So this else part contains the, it's very interesting. Upper if के अंदर क्योंकि सिर्फ एक single statement है, so we have not put these curly brackets here, but else वाले part में we have got two statements, so we have used a curly bracket here. So that shows you another unique combination. Finally, if the condition is true, you can use the if statement here. If this, do this, else, do that, and else. You can repeat, we use else again, else do that. So if true, do this, else do that, else do that. Okay? So that is another combination of else statements. Before we do some more practice, let's talk about the logical operators also. अभी तक मैंने आपको if construct में whatever I have taught, I have used the relational operators. There are logical operators as well. And what are the logical operators? तीन logical operators हैं हमारे पास, which are basically AND operator, double ampersand sign is called AND operator, double pipe is called OR operator, and this sign of exclamation is called NOT operator. AND operator is this, OR operator is this, and NOT operator is this. Okay, these are the three operators. I'll take an example, then I will come back again with these operators, because in the example you will better understand its usage. I'll explain it there, and then we'll talk about the theoretical concepts of the logical operator. Example: the marks obtained by a student in 5 different subjects are input through the keyboard. The student gets a division as per the following rules. If the percentage of the student or the average of the student is 60 or above, then it is first division. If the percentage is between 50 to 59, it is second division. If the percentage is between 40 to 49, it is third division, and less than 40 is fail. Write a program to calculate the division obtained by the student. अब इसमें we would like to see कि how can we write this particular program. पहले हम program लिखते हैं. Let us define the marks of the students. Let's assume के round of marks हैं, integer M1, M2, M3, M4 and M5, and PER is a variable name for percentage. ये क्या है? M1, M2, M3, M4, M5. आप देखिए, we were required to enter the result of 5 subjects. तो हमने 5 subjects के 5 variable M1, M2, M3 marks for 1, subject 1, marks for subject 2, marks for subject 3, marks for subject 4, marks for subject 5, and percentage. Please enter marks in 5 subjects 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and address operator of marks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ये variable जो हमने define किए थे address operators के साथ. We have entered these 5. Remember, जब एक से ज़्यादा arguments हों scanf के, तो how can you distinguish? आप डेटा एंटर करें, उसके साथ टैब 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 करके डेटा एंटर करते रहें, या डेटा एंटर करें फर्स्ट वन स्पेस बार 2 स्पेस बार 3 स्पेस बार 4 स्पेस बार. 5. Comma, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. Or enter 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter 4, and you will be able to enter 5. So these are called white spaces, and these white spaces can distinguish different key quantity entered on the keyboard. We compute the percentage average M1, M2, M3, M4, M5. सपोज 100 में से मार्क्स हैं, परसेंटेज निकालना इज वेरी सिंपल. उसको 5 पे डिवाइड कर दीजिए, 5 को ऐड करके यू विल फाइंड द परसेंटेज. इफ द परसेंटेज इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 60, प्रिंट फर्स्ट डिवीजन. अगर ये कंस्ट्रक्ट ट्रू हो गया तो सिस्टम विल नॉट गो दिस एल्स. ओके, अगर ये इस एल्स में नहीं जाएगा तो इस एल्स में, इस इफ स्टेटमेंट में नहीं जाएगा, और अगर ये इसमें नहीं जाएगा तो फिर इसमें जाएगा. सपोज इन सारे जितने भी कंस्ट्रक्ट्स की बॉडीज हैं, बॉडी नंबर 1, बॉडी नंबर 2, बॉडी नंबर 3, द सिस्टम विल आइदर एंटर हेयर और हेयर और हेयर, और सॉरी चौथी भी है ये, दिस इज द फोर्थ वन. 4, 3, 2. I am writing it with mouse, that's why you see that writing better than the class 1 student, I guess. Okay, so else if the percentage is greater than equal to 50, इसका मतलब है कि 60 और 60 से above तो है नहीं, तो next if it is greater than 50, understood है कि अब 50 और 59 के दरमियान हो सकती है. If it is that, it will print second division and will come out of this. और अगर ये भी नहीं है, ये भी नहीं है, एल्स में आएगा इधर. Here it will check the percentage. Now once again, if the percentage is greater than equal to 40, third division. और अगर ये भी नहीं है, किस्मत में लिखा है, then it is not किस्मत में लिखा है, but the result of the effort of the student means if it is less than 40 means it is fail. Okay, so you can see that you can have these all combinations and you can use the nested if statements wherever required and you can compute that. Let's talk about it a little more. We have seen that the program has used nested else statement. If else, if else. This leads to 3 disadvantages. Number 1, as the number of conditions go on increasing, अगर आपके पास 10-12 grades हैं, ठीक, तो you will be required to put number of nested statements one after the other. Number 2, care needs to be exercised to match the corresponding ifs and else. हर if के साथ उसकी else को match करना है, that's important. और इससे भी ज़्यादा important, care needs to be exercised to match the corresponding pair of braces. वरना एक की बॉडी दूसरे में मिक्स हो जाएगी, एक स्टेटमेंट के बाद दूसरी स्टेटमेंट, and you will find some funny errors that you won't be able to debug or rectify easily. उसमें आपको बहुत अर्करेजी करनी पड़ेगी. You will be required to put in lot of efforts to find out the errors if you make a mistake in matching the braces or matching the else statement with the if statements. So all these 3 problems can be eliminated or can be curtailed or contained if we use logical operators. Kaise? Let us see. Very interesting. Same program, but this time I would like to use some logical operators here. Logical operators. In this example I have used the relational operators, combined it with relational operators. Same program. You have entered the marks of 5 subjects in M1, M2, M3, M4 and 5, and you compute percentage, which is the average. M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4 plus M5 divided by 5 is the average, which is supposedly a percentage. If the percentage is greater than equal to 60, print F first division. If it is not true, write down the next statement. If the percentage is greater than equal to 50 and percentage is less than 60, yes, we have used a logical operator and और ये लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर जो है ये क्या बता रहा है कि हमने कहा है कि इफ द परसेंटेज इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 50 और परसेंटेज इज लेस देन 60, इन दोनों को एंड कर दिया है हमने, इन दोनों क्वांटिटीज को एंड कर दिया है। नेस्टेड इफ हमने बचा ली है यहाँ पर इस लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर की मदद से। देन प्रिंट एफ सेकेंड डिवीजन, क्योंकि सेकेंड डिवीजन जो है वो कहता है कि इफ योर मार्क्स आर ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 50 एंड लेस देन 60, यानी कि 50 और 50 से ज़्यादा और 60 से कम होंगे, इस विंडो के अंदर, इस रेंज के अंदर मार्क्स होंगे, देन यू विल बी अवॉर्डेड सेकेंड डिवीजन। Similarly, if your marks are greater than equal to 40 and less than 50, once again it is combined with this particular logical operator. So we have avoided nested if statement and we are testing the two conditions simultaneously and combining them intelligently with this logical operator and then we print third division. If percentage is less than 40, अगर इधर से नहीं true, फिर इधर जाएगा, ये ट्रू नहीं है तो इधर जाएगा, ये ट्रू नहीं है तो इधर जाएगा, एंड अगर इनमें से कहीं नहीं गया then it's problem, then it's mean that the percentage is less than 40, print f here. Okay, so we have avoided nested structure and we have seen the benefits of the logical operator. The matching of the ifs with their corresponding else's gets avoided since there are no else in this program. इसमें कोई else हमने यूज ही नहीं की, सीधी सीधी if statements यूज किए। ओके, दूसरा, despite of using several conditions the program doesn't creep to the right. nested में क्या करता है, वो राइट साइड पे खुलता चला जाता है प्रोग्राम आपका। ठीक, तो although we have tested all the conditions, लेकिन हमारा प्रोग्राम जो है स्टिल फ्लश टुवर्ड्स लेफ्ट और इसकी रीडेबिलिटी जो है प्रोग्राम की इज मोर रीडेबल। ओके, एक और कॉम्बिनेशन, यू मे राइट टू यूज इफ एल्स, सिमिलरली यू कैन यूज एल्स इफ। वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। Same thing, you can do that, but this time you combined the if with, instead of combining if with else, you are combining else with if. So M1, M2, M3, M5, clear screen, enter the data, compute the average, print the percentage average. If the percentage is greater than equal to 60, print first division, else, अब आप टेस्ट लगा रहे, if the percentage is greater than equal to 50, इसका मतलब है अंडरस्टूड है, आपने इसको इसके साथ कंबाइन किया ना, एंड खुद ब खुद हो गया। जब ये if और else लगी तो एंड खुद हो गया कि परसेंटेज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 60 तो है ही नहीं, इसका मतलब है कि 60 से कम है, बट इफ इट इज ग्रेटर देन 50 तो इसका मतलब है कि इट इज ग्रेटर देन 50 एंड लेस देन 60। तो वो जो एंड वाला काम है वो एल्स इफ से हो रहा है, एंड देन वंस अगेन एल्स इफ that will ensure it is not greater than 60, that will ensure it is not greater than 50. It's mean that else if percentage is greater than equal to 40, इसका मतलब है कि the result are between 40 to 49, second division. And last, क्योंकि now you are just left with one condition, third division, अब not else if, final, last else goes to the final if statement. इसके साथ print fail. Okay, so we have learned another construct which is called the else if construct. Okay, the program reduces the indentation of the statements. In this case every else is associated with its previous if, जो भी मैंने आपको बताया. The last else goes to work only if all the conditions fails. The else if clause is just a way of rearranging the else with the if that follows it. क्या मतलब? मतलब ये कि this if you have combined with else if, with this if you have combined with else if, and the last else goes to the last if. This else goes with this if, this else goes with this if. Okay, and last else goes with this if, as if कि ये आपका एक स्टेटमेंट बन गई. If percentage is greater than equal to 40, print third division, else print fail. ठीक है, और बाकी हमने इसको लॉजिकली कंबाइन किया. जो इसका काम था, लाइक वी हैव टेकन इट विद द लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर, एंड्स ऑपरेटर के साथ जो हम काम ले रहे थे वो हमने एल्स इफ से काम ले लिया. लेट्स टेक द क्लॉज 3 that we have discussed previously, but the example, if the percentage is greater than equal to 60, first division, else. If percentage is greater than equal to 50, print second division, closed. Now you have used another if statement separately. If percentage is greater than equal to 60, print f first division, else if percentage is greater than equal to 50, print f second division. यही जो हमने ऊपर काम किया था वही काम हमने आपको दो तरीके से करके दिखाया. ओके, नॉट ऑपरेटर. आज हमने कोई और की एक्सरसाइज नहीं की है, हमने एंड की एक्सरसाइज की है, बट आई वुड लाइक टू शो यू द नॉट ऑपरेटर. ऑल द नॉट ऑपरेटर इज ऑफन यूज्ड टू रिवर्स द लॉजिक वैल्यू. नॉट ट्रू मीन्स फॉल्स, नॉट फॉल्स मीन्स ट्रू. Not variable means if a flag, not flag means the flag is not true, means the flag is false. This is another way of saying flag equal 0. अगर 0 होती है तो उसे क्या कहते हैं? False. और if flag means if flag is true. जब मैंने कहा if not flag तो इसका मतलब है if flag is not true. क्या टेस्ट कर रहा हूं? इफ द फ्लैग इज फॉल्स. तो हम रिवर्स टेस्ट करने के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं. जैसे हम कहते हैं कि इफ द फ्लैग इक्वल 0, सेम थिंग वी कैन टेस्ट इट हेयर विद द साइन ऑफ एक्सक्लेमेशन, नॉट फ्लैग. इट इज जस्ट लाइक इफ फ्लैग इक्वल टू 0. इट परफॉर्म्स द नॉट ऑपरेशन. दैट मे साउंड कंफ्यूजिंग बट इट्स वेरी वेरी यूजफुल. Avoid if you want, as the same thing can be achieved without using it. But there are certain cases where you say that if not true instead of saying if false. Okay, documentation purpose may you might require if not false means true, so you are required to use it. But if you can live without it, you can leave it. Let's take the example. मैंने आपसे कहा था this operator reverse the result of the expression. It operates on if the expression evaluates to a non-zero value, then applying not operator to it results into a 0. यानी कि अगर आंसर आपका ट्रू आ रहा है तो उसके पीछे नॉट लगा दें तो उसका आंसर 0 हो जाएगा, और अगर आंसर आपका 0 आ रहा है तो उसके पीछे नॉट लगा दें, आंसर आपका ट्रू हो जाएगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ नॉट y is less than 10, y 10 से लेस नहीं है, y is less than 10, not less than 10. इसका मतलब है कि y is greater than equal to 10. अगर not less than 10 होगा तो अंडरस्टूड है कि y is greater than equal to 10. ठीक है, because it is not less than 10. So we can express the same condition saying that y is greater than equal to 10. Okay, students, we have seen the operators now, we have seen the logical operators, we have seen the arithmetic operators. So hierarchy में इसकी precedence के अंदर सबसे पहले sign of exclamation logical not execute होता है because it stays outside, or it is basically a unary operator. Unary means कि जिसका एक ऑपरेंट है, बाइनरी जिसके दो ऑपरेंट्स हैं. नेक्स्ट प्रेसिडेंस होता है मल्टीप्लिकेशन, डिवीजन एंड मॉडुलस और मॉडुलो. नेक्स्ट प्रेसिडेंस आपको पता है प्लस एंड माइनस. तो अरिथमेटिक का प्रेसिडेंस इज हायर देन द रिलेशन, रिलेशनल प्रेसिडेंस आपको मैंने एक एग्जांपल में भी बताया था, 1 + 2 इज लेस देन 3, प्लस पहले एग्जीक्यूट हो रहा था तो इट हैज गॉट द हायर प्रेसिडेंस। ओके, तो ये प्रेसिडेंस इस तरीके से जा रहा है ऊपर, सबसे ऊपर इसका, देन मल्टीप्लिकेशन, डिवीजन, मॉड्यूलस, प्लस एंड माइनस, और विच एवर कम्स फर्स्ट फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट। नॉर्मली हमारे रिलेशनल ऑपरेटर्स में एक ऑपरेटर होता है, सो वी कैन से दैट यस वी कैन यूज इट लाइक दिस। सिमिलरली इक्वालिटी एंड नॉट इक्वालिटी, देन द लॉजिकल एंड, लॉजिकल और असाइनमेंट। आज हमने कोई भी ऑपरेटर जो है और ऑपरेटर नहीं पढ़ा, बट आई प्रॉमिस दैट विल बी यूजिंग इट वेरी शॉर्टली इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर्स। Okay. Dear students, there are certain errors which are hard to debug. क्योंकि आपको पता नहीं चलता कि आपने मिस्टेक क्या की है, बड़ी छोटी सी मिस्टेक है, and it is putting you in trouble, and you don't find, and you say that कि रिजल्ट जवाब सही नहीं आ रहा। So let's take an example. Enter value of I, read the value of I. If I equal 5, printf you have entered 5, else printf you entered something other than 5. Now suppose you type 200, तो इसको क्या लिखना चाहिए? इसको प्रिंट करना चाहिए क्या you entered something other than 5, but it will say you entered 5. भाई इधर कैसे चला गया है कंट्रोल? Okay, control should not go here. So what mistake we have done here? Can you find out the mistake? Just concentrate. Just concentrate here in this statement. Did you see something? If I equal 5, कुछ पता चला? ये क्या है? This sign is assignment operator, not the equality operator. ये टेस्टिंग के भी यूज नहीं होगा, इसका पर्पस है R value to be assigned to the L value. So 5 is assigned to I first. When it will assign 5 to I, which is non-zero, so it will be true. So it's mean that the result of this if statement is true, and the control comes up here and it will print you entered 5. It will not like this. Similarly, if you enter 9999 4 times, yet it will say 5. Why? कि आपने यहाँ पर इक्वालिटी ऑपरेटर्स की बजाय which were like this, instead of using these two operators, equality operators, you have used just assignment operator. तो assignment operator तो value assign कर देगा variable को, which is a non-zero value, which is computed as non-zero. कैसे compute होता? It is computed as true, and if it is true, then it will print a wrong thing. And this type of error, believe me, is very difficult to debug. Let's take another example. Integer I, printf, enter value of I, read the value of I. If I equal 5, you entered 5. If I equal 5, you entered 5. Whatever you enter, it will print 5. Why? A very small mistake. You have used, आपको याद है मैंने कहा था don't use semicolon with if test. This is be converted as if you have written like this. So body of the statement क्या है? सिर्फ semicolon. Or if you are using only semicolon, then this is a statement which is a null statement. It is a null statement. Okay? It is a null statement. So इसका मतलब है कि if I is equal to 5, do nothing. Or then the control will come up to the next statement and it will print you entered 5. This is not the body of this if statement. अगर फर्ज करें आप यूज करना चाहते हैं इन दोनों स्टेटमेंट, तो फिर यू जस्ट पुट ये यहाँ पर, then it becomes the body. But since you have not used these curly brackets, therefore this semicolon which could be here or which could be here. White space है ना enter यहाँ पर, जो आपने enter किया तो यहाँ पे आ गया. If you don't enter it, it will be here. So it will be treated as the body of the if statement. So if statement, whatever the result of the statement is, it will do nothing. So even if you enter 0, it will say you entered 5. And this error is again hard to debug. Okay, how can we combine these logical operators? Operands क्या हैं? Two values हैं. Okay, let us see. Suppose the value of x is equal to 0 and value of y is equal to 0. Then what is the value of not x? Not x क्या करेगा? X की value को reverse कर देगा. If x is 0, not x is 1. Not y is 1. X and y, x or y, if x is false, y is false, the result is false. X or y, if x is 0, y is 0, the result is 0. This is called the truth table. This is the table of the logical operators. Suppose x is 0, y is non-zero. Not x, 0 ka not x 1, it will become true. Not y, non-zero is true. So not y becomes false, it will become 0. X or y को end करें, answer is equal to 0. Because when you end, you multiply. X or y, non-zero, it's a mistake. It should be equal to 1. Okay? Because either 0, x is true or y is true, the result is true. इन दोनों में से कोई एक भी वैल्यू ट्रू हो जाए तो आंसर इज ट्रू. ओके, सो इसको 0 नहीं होना चाहिए, इसको 1 होना चाहिए. x is non-zero, y is 0, not x non-zero से 0, not y 1 and दोनों का 0. और since this is non-zero, so x is true or y is true, therefore answer is true. दोनों में से एक भी क्वांटिटी ट्रू हो तो आंसर इज इक्वल टू ट्रू. This is non-zero, this is non-zero, therefore not x is 0, not y is 0. So x and y both is equal to 1. अब आपने एंड किया, मैंने आपसे कहा था एंड में दोनों क्वांटिटीज आप अज्यूम करें मल्टीप्लाई होती हैं. Since both are 1, therefore the answer should be equal to 1. Or 1 plus 1 is again 1, means A is true, B is true, answer is true. So this is a very good table to remember that how these logical operators are computed. If the values are 0 or 1, means 0 stands for false, 1 stands for true, or non-zero stands for true. Okay, please remember that. Now finally, the last topic of this lecture is the conditional operator. This conditional operator is basically a combination of question mark and semicolon. We combine these two operators together. So they take 3 arguments, one before this, second in between, third is here. There are 3 arguments. They form a kind of 4 shorthand if then else. If then else को हम 3 जगह पर यहाँ पर रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं कंडीशनल ऑपरेटर से, बट इट्स वेरी ट्रिकी टू ऑपरेट. फॉर एग्जांपल यू कैन से दैट इंटीजर x comma y, you read the value of x, so we say y is equal to x greater than 5 question mark 3 colon 4. So this is argument number 1, which is a test. We say that if x is 5, if the result is true, the answer should be 3. If the result is false, then the answer of this expression is 4. I repeat again slowly. First one is called test. This is called true. If true, then this is the answer. If false, then this is the answer. So the answer is either true or false. In case the answer of this expression, test expression, is true, the answer is true, this one. If the test expression answer is false, then the value of this expression is whatever you have written it here. Okay, so answer क्या आएगा इसका? Let us see. Suppose we have entered x is equal to 6. If x is equal to 6 means x is greater than 5 true, then the answer is equal to 3. So y will have a value equal to 3. It is equivalent to the if statement. If x is greater than 5, if yes, y is equal to 3, else y is equal to 4. वही चीज़ जो मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन कर रहा था इधर. अगर आप if और else के कंस्ट्रक्ट में देखें कि if the result is true, then the answer is before the question mark, sorry, just after the question mark this, then the answer is this, or if this is false, then it goes here, and then the last one is here. Okay, so that is another way of using the if and else using conditional operator. Let's take another form of this conditional operator. Arithmetic statements के भी use ही नहीं करना, but you can use it to for any statements also. For example, we can say if I is equal to 1, print 1, else print not 1. Means this is a test part. If I is equal to 1, if this is true, then it will print this part. And if the result is not true, then it will result this part. So if I is equal to 1, it will print 1. If I is not equal to 1, it will print not 1. Similarly, very interesting example here. Suppose you have defined a character A which has a value Z. Now we say printf %C. If A is greater than 123, अब Z का code है, if I remember it correctly, it is less than 123. Okay, it is something because small a is a, so Z should be equal to 122, I guess. So it is not greater than 123, rather it is 123. So this test expression result is false. If it is false, then it will print out. इस %C को जो argument assign होगा वो A assign नहीं होगा. It will not print Z. It will print this sign of exclamation. Okay. मेरा ख्याल है Z का कोड is 123. I'll check it out and let you know. आप इस तरह भी कर सकते हैं कि A का जो कोड है that is equal to 97, B is 98, C is 99, D is 100. इस तरह calculate करें, find out what is the code of Z. So you should be able to find it out. But I'm sure it is less than or equal to 123. So that's why it's written here. It will print this sign of exclamation. Okay, very interesting. Let's see another combination of this. You can use it with the conditional operators also. So what will be the value of big this? So this is the test. If the A is greater than B, so what is the value of A is 3, B is 2, C is 1. If A is greater than B, if it is true, then execute this statement. Otherwise execute this statement. Very nice. So this is nested conditional operator. Since A is 3, B is 2, this is true, so it will execute this statement. When it will execute this statement, then if A is greater than C, yes, A is greater than C because A is 3, B is C is 1. So if it is true, the answer should be this 3. ठीक है, तो इसका output is equal to 3. और अगर A की वैल्यू होती 1, B की 2, C की 3, तो ये false हो जाता. A is less than B हो जाता, क्योंकि हम assume करते हैं कि वैल्यू 1, B की वैल्यू 2 और C की वैल्यू 3. So A is less than B, yes, no, A is not greater than B, so this is true, so it should have executed this false part. Here we say that if B is greater than C, no, B is not greater than C, once again it is false, so the answer is kata 8. The same example is given below. If A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, मैंने already इसको explain कर दिया आपके लिए. Good. Conditional operator 4. If A is greater than B, question mark, G is equal to A, question mark, G is equal to B. Here, it will give you an error message which will say that L value required, क्योंकि यहाँ पर it is finished. Okay, it will say G. A is greater than B, question mark, G is equal to A, else G, whatever the value of G is. So if you want that this G is equal to B should be executed, then you put this parenthesis here. It will force that the value of B is assigned to G, and then depending upon the result it will be executed. Okay, please spend some time in it and code it in your environment. वो जो मैंने आपको टेम्पलेट दिया है वर्ड का, उसमें आप ये लिखते चले जाएं and you will find the result by yourself. The limitation of the conditional operator is that after the question mark or after the colon only one C statement can occur, जबकि if statement में ऐसी कोई condition नहीं है. If or else के अंदर you can put in as many statement as you like, just you need to put in a braces. जबकि conditional operator के अंदर you can only put only one single statement. If it is true, then you can put one statement. If it is false, then you can only put one statement. So that is the major difference. So in serious C programming, conditional operators are not used frequently. Rather we use if and else. Summary, finally. We are coming to the end of the lecture. There are three ways for taking decision in a program. First way is to use the if-else statement. Second way is to use the conditional operators. And third way is to use the switch statement. The default scope of the if statement is only the next statement. So to execute more than one statement, they must be written in a pair of braces. By default, body of the if statement is considered to be a single statement. चाहे वो if की body हो, चाहे वो else की body हो. So if you want to put more statement, then you have to put it into the braces. An if block need not always be associated with an else block. However, an else block is always associated with if. If तो बगैर else के हो सकता है, else बगैर if के नहीं हो सकता. That is the simple statement. If you are having an if statement, you may not be having any else statement. But if you are using an else statement, then you must use the if part also. That is important. क्योंकि बजाते खुद if statement environment है, else statement environment नहीं है. By default, if statement का part है else statement. If the outcome of the if-else ladder is only one or two answers, then the ladder should be replaced either with else if caused or by logical operators. अगर दो में से एक आउटकम आना है तो else यूज करवे उसके साथ या लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर्स को कंबाइन करवे. ठीक. एंड एंड और आर बाइनरी ऑपरेटर्स. क्यों? इसके दो ऑपरेंड्स हैं ए एंड बी. ए और बी they have got two operators, so they are called binary operators, whereas not is a unary operator. Not x, so it has got one operand. Not y, it has got one operand. In C, every test expression is evaluated in terms of 0 or 1, false or true. A zero value is considered to be false and non-zero value is considered to be true. Assignment statement used with conditional operator must be enclosed within a pair of parentheses. जब आप assign करते हैं, क्योंकि without assigning, it assumes that the quantity, the data of that variable is picked up. But if you want to use an assignment operator, then you must put it into the parentheses so that it should be executed first to a single operand, to a single value, then you can use it. So, dear student, that is the end of today's lecture. Today we have learned some very, very important construct which is called if construct. And I have blended this particular lesson with relational operators as well as with logical operators. आपने देखा कि इसके बगैर हम if और else को डिटेल में स्टडी नहीं कर सकते थे. That's why मैंने आपसे लास्ट लेक्चर में प्रॉमिस किया था कि we will discuss all the logical operators and relational operators at an appropriate place. तो अब सिर्फ एक ऑपरेटर्स रह गए, वो कौन से? बिट वाइज ऑपरेटर. Once again, I promise you that at a certain time we will be focusing and discussing the bitwise operators. So please go through the lecture very carefully. If you don't understand something, repeat it once, twice, thrice. And yet if you don't find the right answer and don't understand any concept, please contact us through the course portal. Okay? Khuda Hafiz.